One, two, one, two, one, two. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Y'all let me know in the chat. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Welcome in, JB Austin. Welcome in. Welcome in. Y'all let me know. Can y'all hear me? Question mark. Chat, chat. Can y'all hear me? Let me know. Let me know. We back, we back. Okay, guys, if you're just joining in, welcome into the Live with Brandon Blakely podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Brandon Blakely, aka Brandon Lee TV, with the new top 25 rankings just dropping in women's college basketball. Man, I know y'all had some thoughts, some reactions, so I figured, we haven't had a live in a while. What better time than to jump on here and share our thoughts? I know I did the video yesterday. Much love to y'all checking it out. The unfortunate news of star South Carolina forward Chloe Kidd's potential lottery pick, man. Savage, welcome in, welcome in. Potential lottery pick going down. Had a chance to lead South Carolina in scoring as well as rebounding this year. Definitely gonna miss her. I hate that that happened to Chloe Kidd so close to the season. We saw it with Juju. Now we're seeing it where I thought, man, this was the year where it all was going to come together. Chloe Kids had a very strong finish to the season, winning the regional MVP as well as the SEC tournament MVP. Felt like this was the year where she was going to be that alpha and everything was going to be clicking together. Y'all saw how she had just been putting in so much work in the off season, working on her perimeter game, working on the handle, working on 3-point shooting. I honestly thought there was a chance we could see her at the three some this year, and she goes down. South Carolina overcoming the loss of Malaysia Wiley to LSU, overcoming the loss of Ashlyn Watkins to next season, and then having to overcome Chloe Kitts. The Gamecocks have had a very tumultuous offseason to say the least, but if there is one program where it's next player up and they have enough depth to overcome these losses, it's definitely South Carolina. I was surprised to still see them at two. That just shows you the faith that the voters, as well as the media and the supporters of women's college basketball, have in this team. UConn, deservingly so, number one. AZ Fudd coming in. They got Sarah Williams, arguably the top big that was available in the portal. Bringing back Sarah Strong, who has a chance to be honestly, player of the year, in my opinion. I'm interested to see. AZ Foot has never had to carry the team on her own. No Paige Beckers, defending champs, got a lot of depth coming back though. Excited to see what this team does. Love the addition of Keckle, Haley Keckle as well, or Kaylee Heckle, excuse me, as well in this backcourt. Bringing back KK Arnold. Um, Obviously, Sarah Strong, one of the most well polished, well rounded, complete players in the entire nation. The Sarahs are definitely going to be a problem when it comes to defending that front court. Ashley Shade as well with that group. UConn deservedly number one. Y'all let me know y'all's takeaways initially. Looking at that top five, UConn, South Carolina, UCLA, can coach close, and this nucleus we've seen, man, with the Betts sisters, Lauren Betts, denying the WNBA draft to play with her five-star little sister, coming in as the number two ranked player in the freshman class. Sienna Betts. You got Kiki Rice as well coming in. Is this the year they finally get over the hump and UCLA lives up to the hype, man? Texas lost Taylor Jones, lost a lot in that front court, lost Oldacre, bringing back Madison Booker. Layla Leah didn't really work out with that team, but they bring in a talented freshman, Leah Crump. Presley, Jordan Lee played really, really well in their preseason tournament debut when they went overseas and represented Team USA. Expecting a big year from Jordan Lee, man, and of course Madison Booker. What I've seen from Texas, though, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. It seems like 3-point shooting is still a big, big, big weakness for them. Of course, maybe the most exciting team with the most anticipation that we're waiting to see. LSU, Malaysia Wiley jumping ship to LSU. Coach Kim Mulkey has already said, and go check out my video about that, mentioning that she will be the point guard for this group. Giving it another run like Haley Van Lith. Will they have better results this time? Is Leiful Wally ready to take over that point guard position? Flau'jae Johnson, Michaela Williams, one of the best perimeter duos in the country. Michaela Williams has reportedly been very more vocal than she has been in the past, ready to take on that leadership role. Don't sleep on Maya Joyner as well as Kate Koval. I think LSU has a lot more size. They're going to play fast. You got Zakiya Johnson as well there. Excited to see Devon Burridge, who's getting some minutes at point guard as well. Talk about a dang on um, just clone of Malaysia Full Wiley. So I think LSU is going to play fast. They're going to score a lot of points. Hey, Oklahoma right there at number 6, man. I love Peyton Broholst. I think Aaliyah Chavez is exactly what they needed, missing a primary ball handler so they can get Verholst off ball. They got to make sure that Reagan Beers is in the best shape of her life and play minutes and stay out of foul trouble. But I like Oklahoma. I like Vaughn, Savannah Vaughn as well. They bring back a lot of experience. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this initial poll. I love Tennessee. NC State picking up Camille Pierre late on the sneak. Coach Freeze doing her thing in the transfer portal as well, man. I love to see just them continue to reload this roster. Carolina a little high for my taste. Y'all know I love Carolina. Was raised a Carolina fan. Love the Tar Heels. Aaron Solo, the freshman that was a point guard at UCLA, joining that group. They've got to replace Alyssa Usby. It's a lot of talent coming back to North Carolina as well. Blanca Thomas, I think, is going to be super talented for that group as well. Tennessee, can't sleep on them. Ole Miss bringing in Cody McMahon. Coach Yo doing some big things in the transfer portal. Got a big, big, big commitment out of UCF. 20 point per game score. They bring some talent back. Michigan with Olsen as well as Swords, those two sophomores coming back. Iowa State, hey, we know just Audie Crooks, Addie Brown. Notre Dame at 15 is a little high. Hannah Hidalgo is really going to have the keys to this offense. I think she could be the player of the year and defensive player of the year in both the ACC and in the nation. A lot of new faces at Notre Dame. None of them really proven though. Like Notre Dame is an outlier right now. Hannah Hidalgo thinks they have some breakout stars. She's been very vocal about what she thinks this team can do. I think they got a lot to prove. Baylor bringing in a lot of experience. Olivia Miles with TCU, can't sleep on them. Jazzy Davis and Kennedy Smith, excuse me, at USC. Excited to see them. A lot of hype right now with Jazzy Davis. A lot of hype. Number 1 freshman in the country coming in, just a smooth bucket getter. Michaela Blake's probably the best guard in the country, depending on who you ask. They lose Camille Pierre, though. Bring in Alea Del Rosario, former 5-star prospect that never really reached her potential over at LSU. Can they bring the best out of her? Louisville. Iowa's got some exciting young pieces as well. Oklahoma State, Kentucky can never sleep on Coach out there. Coach Kenny Brooks. It's a lot. It's a lot, man. These are initial polls. Let me catch up in the comments. Y'all flood them comments. Give me y'all's initial reaction. I think Notre Dame, I was surprised to see them in the top 15. We'll see. Thought Baylor could be a little higher. Was surprised to see Louisville at 20. Thought they could be a little higher as well. The top 10, I'm pretty cool with, though, honestly. I would have put Ole Miss over UNC, to be honest. This is the most talented team Coach Yo has had in her whole tenure there. And we know they play tough, they play rugged, they play physical, and they make you earn every bucket. Let me see, JB. Sarah Strong's game is well beyond her years. Yeah. I mean, super polished, man. Can shoot it, can handle it, can pass it. Basketball IQ out of this world. Continued to become a better defender and rebounder throughout the year. Can take it off the dribble. I mean, she legitimately can play the 3, 4, and 5. When you look at UConn top to bottom, man, I mean, this team is absolutely stacked. Yeah, definitely most loaded roster. Corey has no excuse not to make the championship game. Yeah, I mean, you seriously, man. Coach Close, it's time to put up or shut up, man. Honestly, you bring Duglic back. You bring Gabriela Jaquez back. You got Ledger Walker back from injury. You got your another point guard to where you can move Kiki Wright's off ball, where she's been comfortable at times as well. Lauren Betts, Defensive Player of the Year, most dominant 2-way player in the country. Like the excuses is over with. There's no more room for leeway. If you don't get it done this year, she might have to be on the hot seat. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I like Oklahoma too, Savage. I really do. LSU, probably the biggest wild card in the country, could look rough, where they could look like a serious contender with the best backcourt in the country. Yeah, and with Malaysia Fulwani taking over that point guard spot, there's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be a learning curve. Can you trust her with the keys to the offense? That's going to be the biggest question. For her to be efficient, for her to run the show, for her to get other players involved, and be the key to the ignition for this team. We haven't seen her do that for long stints of time. So it'll be interesting to see if she can make that growth and come across that learning curve, man. I tell you what, though, when LSU and South Carolina meet up, it is going to be sparks flying in the air. I'm not the highest on Chavez. Yeah, I mean, people have questioned her defense, her shot selection, her efficiency. Coach J's gonna have to get that under control, but she's playing next to Peyton Verhulst, who is a lottery pick in my opinion, and they got Reagan Beers. Pick and roll should be very, very hard to guard with Beers being able to pick and pop. Her versatility. They just got to get her in shape so she can play big minutes, man. Because like if you look at her compared to a lot of the other bigs in her stratosphere, the Sarah Williams, the Sarah Strongs. Like Reagan Beers is not playing enough minutes and staying out of foul trouble. USC severely low. Yeah, Notre Dame I think is a little high. USC did some good things in the portal. I love that they bring in Davison, who I think is going to be a star from day one. Yeah, USC. I would trust you right now today if you ask me. I would trust USC over Notre Dame. Yeah, Ole Miss really, 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 really. Ole Miss not getting a lot of love, man. They're not getting a lot of love at all. Yeah, Ohio State. I like Michigan. The Big Ten feels pretty wide open, man. Outside of UCLA, like I think Iowa could really make some noise. Um, I'm excited to see what Addie does there. They got a five-star freshman coming in that is the highest rated since they've had Caitlin Clark on this roster. Um, Ohio State, man, I think losing Cody McMahon was would hurt them a lot. Love Jelani Cambridge. Think she's one of the best point guards in the country for sure. NC State's interesting, man. Camille Pierre coming in there, I think takes them to another level. You got Zam Jones, you got Zoe Brooks. They return a lot of talent in that backcourt, but Camille Pierre getting a transfer report like transferred 20 and 10 transfer that late. I mean, we're talking about a player that could be ACC Player of the Year, folks. Not gonna hold you. Timothy, welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, Iowa State, man, they have really, really, really let down. That game that they lost to Northern Iowa was kind of like the beginning of their slump last year. Honestly, they did some good things in the portal, though. Got a pretty solid recruiting class. They just need to really surround Audie Crooks with some shooters, and they need Addie Brown to really, really play to her level for the entire season. Yeah, Stanford. Man, Stanford gave LSU a really tough run last year. I got to give you that. I would not sleep on Stanford at all. I really like what they're building down there. They're getting some talent. They're starting to build that foundation and find their identity. I could absolutely see them climbing into that top 15. Um, what team most surprised y'all? Let me get a question in. Like, what team were y'all most surprised about? Team were y'all most surprised about in the rankings? Because there's definitely some teams that slept on, man. Honestly, yeah. Y'all, give me y'all's opinion. What team really, really surprised y'all the most in these rankings? I was surprised South Carolina was number two, but still very, very talented. Duke at number seven. Losing some of the talent that they did lose, I was a little bit surprised, but at the same time, because Lucci is the absolute truth. Her going to Maryland, like Lucci Okinawa, was a big, big loss for Duke. ACC Sixth Player of the Year, was the ACC Tournament MVP. That was a huge loss for them. But and Coach Kara Lawson still thinks she's the best coach in the ACC. No disrespect to Coach Ivy. They're 1A, 1B. Yeah, Notre Dame was definitely a little hot in my liking. Definitely a little surprised, just because I mean we know what you get with Hannah Hidalgo, and a lot of pressure. She's going to be seeing a lot of double teams, and she's going to need some of these players that are unproven. Even from the transfer portal, really are unproven on this roster to lift some weight off her shoulders as well. And we know what Hannah is bringing, but yeah, what is the rest of this roster bringing to the table? We do not know. We do not know. And I mean, I've been hearing some good rave reviews about Adele Tack and her development. You got Okot and Joyce Edwards who will have to take that next step this season, which I think she will. I can see Joyce really taking that superstar leap. But yeah, Chloe is a major loss. Like this front court's a lot thinner than they were expecting. I'm wondering if Nia Latson, how she fits with this group. I think her playmaking is something that will be put on display this year more so. She, almost averaged 5 assists last game. She won't get as many shots, but they have a legitimate closer now, a legitimate first scoring option to where, in my opinion, when the shot clock's breaking down, when the offense is stagnant, we saw them have hella slow starts. No offense, Gamecock fans, but a lot of slow starts for them. She can really get the offense sparked for them. I think Isla McDowell, Tessa Johnson gives them versatility to play small ball. Put either one of them at the four. We could be seeing some small ball from South Carolina that we aren't accustomed to. One thing though, it's going to be next player up for them, that mentality, and Coach Don Staley's going to figure it out. Absolutely going to figure it out. But yeah, I thought, maybe it was too soon for them to adjust the rankings. They probably already had them locked in. If they released them again Friday, it could be totally different. But yeah, I was surprised to see South Carolina over the likes of UCLA and Texas. Still would have had them top five, but number two is a lot of expectations, man, because it's going to be some new faces that are going to have to really step up for this team in the front court. Figure they may pick prior to, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, JB. That's what I'm thinking too. Where would y'all have South Carolina? Where would y'all have South Carolina? If not two, would y'all still have them in y'all's top five? Let me know. Holler at me in the comments. Let me know. Let me know. And if this is your first time with the Live with Brandon Blakely podcast, of course, I'm your host, Brandon Blakely, aka Brandon Lee TV. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment, like, share, all that good stuff. Um, South Carolina is still number one in the SEC as well, man. I think this team still has enough talent and is capable of winning a national championship without a doubt. I think LSU is an outlier. I think Texas is a strong pick. I would still probably lean South Carolina to win the SEC. Just because, man, Texas, it's tough for me to trust a team that absolutely is one dimensional and cannot shoot the 3 point. And that's what we saw in international play, man. Like, they still haven't really addressed that weakness of teams packing the paint. They're still a good mid-range shooting team, but Texas really needs some players. They need, Jordan Lee and some of these shooters, Madison Booker as well, to really open up the floor and knock down some 3 pointers. But depending on how quickly Malaysia Fulwali can make that transition to the point guard position, LSU, I think last season had a bunch of band-aids trying to plug a boat hole, and they had a lot of players that were getting free rides last season. They've tremendously upgraded this roster. This might be the deepest team that Coach Kim Mulkey has had since she's been at LSU. With these freshmen, with Maya Joyner from ECU, who I covered in North Carolina, I think she's a potential first team SEC player. And just with her versatility, her ability to take it off the dribble, shoot the basketball, like they added a lot of size. Kate Koval showed us some flashes at Notre Dame. I think she's one of the most skilled bigs in the country. They just got to get her max potential unleashed. But I like LSU. I really do like LSU. They just got to get that monkey off their back and get that win against South Carolina, because that's just, it's like the Chiefs and the Bills. It's that big brother, big little bro, that big sister little sister matchup where the little sister's talented, but it's a mental thing. Can they overcome and really just stick it to South Carolina? That'll be an emotional game for sure. I really like Oklahoma. Their big three. If Reagan Beards can stay out of foul trouble, continue to get in shape, work on her stamina, her durability. I think Aaliyah Chavez has some holes in her game, um, but I do think they were missing a point guard bad last year, and she is exactly what they needed. South Carolina number 5. Yeah, Aaliyah Crump, and I love the freshman Aaliyah Crump at Texas. I'm wondering how many minutes she's gonna get. You got Presley back as well. Jordan Lee, I think, is in for a big year, but Crump definitely, if she can come in and shoot the rock and open up the floor, and open up those driving lanes, it's gonna be hard to keep her off the floor. Love what Tennessee did in the transfer portal as well at Jersey Wolfenbarger. They did some good things. Adding Janiah Barker. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Whitehorn though. Down one of their leading scorers so far. Haven't had much of an update. I talked about that a couple of months ago, but it'll be interesting to see. But they're back deep. Love Talasia Cooper with that team as well. Yeah, that's been the knock on Chavez, her defense. Are they going to be able to hide her enough to where she's not a liability? The decision making and the shot selection have also been called into question in the past as well. She's going to have to really play a controlled game, but also we still want to see her be her as well. Let's see, LSU versus Texas in the SEC. Okay, okay, Chicago cheater, respect, respect. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Ole Miss is my dark horse for the SEC. Love Oklahoma. LSU is going to be super deep, super fast. They're going to score a lot of points. They're going to probably be the most exciting team in the country, man. To be honest, on the fast break, they're going to be unguardable. But are they going to be able to defend the paint? That is going to be the question. Let me see. Let me catch up in the comments. Let me catch up in the comments. Man, SEC, and we should be 5 because UConn, UCLA, Texas, and LSU seem more proven or have more reliable players, and the depth. LSU's gonna have a lot more depth than they did last year. I think once LSU gets rolling and chemistry is built, it could beat anyone in the country as long as health isn't an issue. Yeah, in the front court is much more upgraded than it was last year. Samaya Smith leaving was a big loss. I think they upgraded it. They brought a freshman in too. We could see Grace Knox playing some four. She's got a little bit of a Nisa Morrow in her. I think she has the potential to start, depending on if they go a little bit smaller. But love this freshman class, and I expect at least 2 or 3 of them to contribute immediately for sure. Grace Knox definitely an X factor. I want to see what Chavez looks like against a defender like Hannah Hidalgo. Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, we saw Special K kind of lock her up. So when guards have really guarded her 94 feet and got up in her chest, you can see Leah Chavez has definitely been made uncomfortable. And when you got Malaysia Fort Wiley, Raven Johnson, guards like that you're going against on the reg in the SEC, you you have to show what you made of pretty quick for sure. SC is the team to beat in the SEC. Arrow, I gotta respect it though. The champs, you ain't the champs no more. Oklahoma is following that Iowa blueprint. Did a great post and surround her shooters. The head coach used to be a Hawkeye. Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. Like Oklahoma, I think their only weakness last year was having a point guard. They didn't really have a way to get Verhulst off ball. With her being able to get off ball, come off screens, and be freed up, man, I think she's gonna have a big year. She's got the potential to be an SEC Player of the Year type player. Ernest ain't a believer in the LSU front court. Yeah, Grace Knox, man. When you just talk about 6'2", 6'3", skilled, can play in the post, has the old school game, can hit the fadeaway, can post up, go over the shoulder, can bring you out to the perimeter, take you off the dribble, can shoot the three. Elite rebounder, tenacious competitor. Like Grace, yeah, I like Grace Knox a lot. I really like Grace Knox a lot. I would not be surprised, maybe not at the beginning of the season, but I could definitely see at some point her being a starter for this group. Yeah, these LSU freshmen, man, I think they're gonna come in and really boost this roster. The depth that they had a lot of, and you got KG back as well. But even with Wolfenbarger, with Day Wilson, with some of these players, Del Rosario last year, like they had a lot of players getting free rides last season. This year, this group is absolutely loaded, top to bottom, with legitimate talent. We got to see, yeah, is Kate Koval going to be that defender? Amaya Joyner is going to be, I think, could be newcomer of the year for this conference, man. I don't know if you guys watched her at East Carolina, but when they played SEC competition, she gave South Carolina all types of problems. One sec, y'all. Like Amaya Joyner is definitely a player, a veteran who's played a lot of games, a leader, versatile, and I know Coach Himoki's super excited about her as well. Yeah, Bella Hines is one of the freshmen that might be the odd player out this year, just because of the growth of Jada Richard as well. But she absolutely can shoot the basketball from lights out. Great point guard option for them if they get in foul trouble. Expecting a big year out of Jada Richard. Devon Burridge is like Malaysia Fulwali clone, just super silky smooth, can get anywhere on the court. Like love her game. I think she's gonna play some one for them, some two. Ty Johnson, another big wing for them that can really shoot the basketball. Super fundamentally sound as well. Man, this freshman group for LSU definitely, I think, is going to come in and make an immediate impact. Gina, welcome in, guys. If this is your first time, make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment, like, share, all that good stuff, and join our memberships. We got exclusive content daily, weekly, whenever you need it. Follow us on social media at Brandon Lee TV. Much love, everybody, man. Just giving their takes, their picks. And as we get closer to the season and everything kicking off, y'all know I will have more live streams, more discussions, and continue to crank out the content, your number one source for women's college hoops, recruitment, news, breakdowns, and all that good stuff. If Jan Jensen can keep Iowa's defensive momentum from last year going with their projected improved offense, they could easily. That's what I'm saying. Iowa is really my dark horse. They are my absolute dark horse in the Big Ten. I think it's wide open. You know, they brought in a really talented recruiting class. They brought in some talented transfers. Coach Jan Jensen is doing some great things on the recruiting trail as well. Just landed the number 6 player. I made a video about that as well. But yeah, Iowa, man, like they have more scoring punch, more star power than they had last year. No disrespect to Lucy Olson, I think it'll be a more balanced effort. And yeah, if they can continue to defend, they that's a tough arena to play in. It seems like the Big Ten is UCLA's to lose, but at the same time, man, we've seen this roster for UCLA continue to underachieve in the postseason. So, Big Ten to me is probably the most wide open conference right now. I think Bella sees some minutes solely off how good of a defender she is. Coaching staff has been raving about her. She's easily one of the best shooters on the team. Deep range, great court vision, high IQ, will defend, which LSU needs all the defense they can get for sure. I think for them, it's going to be defending the paint. They have good perimeter defenders in Flage, Full Wiley, Michaela Williams. Like, they have good perimeter defense, but they're going to need Maya Joyner. They're going to need Kate Cobalt to really anchor that paint this year, block some shots, protect the rim, and, just force tough, difficult shots so they can get them rebounds and get out in transition. Because I'm telling you right now, in my opinion, LSU is going to be the most dangerous team in the country. The only thing stopping UCLA this year is the same thing that stopped them from last year. Yeah, I mean, if they don't achieve it this year, I mean, even make it to the championship game, Is it safe to say Coach Close is on the hot seat? That'll be our next question. Let me get a spicy poll up for y'all. Let me get a poll up for the people because it's been a lot of UCLA talk right now. My guy RC, what's up, man? Welcome in. We talking a lot about them Iowa Hawkeyes. I knew you was gonna come. I knew your ear was burning. It feels like it's wide open for them this season. Excited to see them freshmen come in. Excited to see if the defense continues. They got more firepower this season. Man, I think the Big Ten is absolutely the biggest wide open conference right now. Where it's UCLA's to lose, but at the same time, I absolutely love what Iowa did. And I mean, I'm excited to see too, man. I mean, you bring back McCabe, who found her rhythm shooting the basketball last season. You bring in Addie Deal, one of the top freshmen that has come through there, 5-star recruit, who can absolutely score the basketball. You know, of course, with her playing style, her scoring capabilities, her high profile, her resume known as a scorer. She's gonna get the Caitlin Clark comparisons, but yeah, I'm absolutely and you a RC you have been talking about Deal since she signed, so we already know what Addie Deal's bringing to the table. She's gonna come in there and potentially lead this team in scoring from year one. You still got Hannah Stolke, who kind of had an up and down year. She was really good with Team USA in the Mary Cup, so I'm expecting her to come in with major confidence and be ready to lead this team for sure. Definitely got them as my dark horse as well. Yeah, I like what Iowa did, man. They play the defense. They're balanced. They're well balanced. They play team basketball. They have two legitimate bucket getters now in Deal and Stokes as well. More star power than last year for sure. I think we should model ourselves after last year's Michigan Wolverines team, young and not afraid. Yeah, absolutely. Love Lucy Olson or love Olson with Iowa as well as Silas Swartz. Yeah, Iowa, man, they brought in some international prospects. They added to that front court. I'm excited to see how everybody just gels together with this group. Hey, I'm here for the Iowa love, respect, respect. I'm here for the Iowa love. Yeah, I'm excited to see what Ohio State does. It's Jelani Cambridge's show now. Cody McMahon making that jump to Ole Miss, who I think should be honestly at least 11th. I'd put them over Carolina. Michigan, really young talent, but they've got some sophomores, a dynamic sophomore duo that obviously has shown they are not afraid of the big stage by any means. Michigan State caught some people off guard last season. They won't be a surprise this year. I guarantee you that. Yes, a lot of new faces for Iowa, and just seeing what they did on defensive end, they really had trouble scoring at points last season. I definitely think they have a lot more firepower offensively. And Coach Jen is doing her thing, man, on the recruitment trail. They've built a culture there. It's not just based off one player. They're still packing houses, selling out all their games at home. They've established a culture there as one of the premier destinations for women's college basketball talent. We're seeing it carry over. Yeah, that's another player like y'all mentioned, Emily. Another miss for South Carolina on this recruitment trail in the last, especially with the 2026 class. They've been swinging and missing on several of them. Terrible news with Chloe Kids. They've had probably the roughest off season of any team. But if anybody it can overcome all these losses, it's definitely them. Still see USC up there with Kennedy Smith, Kennedy Smith, Jazzy Davidson as well. Iowa State, Audie Crooks always going to have them in it. Addie Brown, Camille Pierre joining NC State. I was not as high on them before, but when you can get a 20-10 player that late in the transfer portal, like big loss, big loss for Vanderbilt. Honestly, it's several players in the transfer portal still right now that could make an impact. So yeah, I'm not putting it past anybody to go grab somebody, especially with these late injuries that we're seeing. Man, the torn ACLs have been out of control. The ACLs have been out of control. Like it's been out of control. I'm pretty solid with the top five. I might move some teams around, but the top five I think they got right. Love that next five though is just as intriguing. Duke's a little high. I didn't like that they lost Oluchi Okinawa. I thought that's a huge loss for them, but love Jaden Donovan. Reagan's back for them as well. Reagan Richardson. They got a lot of talent as well. They did really good in the recruitment trail. So did Tennessee. Brought in a heck of a class as well. We'll have to see what happens with Whitehorn there, but love Talasia Cooper in this system another year. Maryland did their thing in the portal as well. UNC's a little high, but we'll see. We'll see. They did some good things in the transfer portal. Got some talented sophomores coming back as well. Notre Dame, I think, is one of the biggest outliers. We literally know what we're getting with Hannah Hidalgo, but nobody else on the roster is really proven. And you lose two potential lottery picks, one lottery pick, and then Olivia Miles jumping ship to TCU, which is kind of a similar situation with TCU where they lost a lot of talent. And they lost that big three, and we kind of don't know much about their roster. It's not a whole lot of proven players either. So Olivia and Hannah kind of in the same boat. My top five players in the Big Ten, no position. Britt Prince, Kayleen Smirkle, love Smirkle, man. Maryland's gonna be tough. Maryland's gonna be tough. She's probably my pick for Big Ten Player of the Year. Definitely a lottery pick. Jazzy Davidson, Lauren, Silas Swartz, Lauren Betts. Yeah, that's a lot of talent right there, man. That is a lot of talent. Lot of talent coming back to the Big Ten. Lauren Betts, probably the most dominant two-way player in the country. Silas Ward is the most fearless bucket getter we've probably seen in that conference right now. Jazzy Davidson looking to carry the torch for Juju with her out. They got London Johnson as well from UCLA. So they got some shooters, man. UCLA, or excuse me, USC will be an interesting outlier as well to see. But yeah, Jazzy Davidson definitely my pick for freshman of the year. And she will have the ball in her hands immediately. But I love Kaylee Smickle as well. I love what Maryland did, man. Coach Freeze is on fire. Getting Jordan Jackson the recruitment trail as well, 5-star prospect. They're doing some really good things. They really are doing some really good things in the portal and bringing in some freshman talent. It looks like 73% said that if UCLA doesn't at least make the Natty this year, Coach Close has got to be on that hot seat without a doubt. And I agree with y'all. I agree completely. Make sure y'all hit that poll. If this is your first time, welcome into the Live with Brendan Blakeney podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Brendan Blakeney, aka Brendan Lee TV. This is the Live with Brendan Blakeney podcast. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment, like, share, all that good stuff, and join our memberships. We got exclusive content daily, weekly. whenever you need it. And follow us on social media at Brandon Lee TV as well. Much love to everybody. Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Charlize Ledger Walker was injured all last season. One of the most proven point guards in the country coming back for UCLA. Gives them that chance to move Kiki Rice off ball, which he's looked more comfortable at times. You bring back Dulich, you bring back Gabriela Jaquez. You bring in one of the nation's best shooters as well. Um, I mean, there is no excuse for UCLA this season. Like this roster is loaded once again. Like there is no excuse. The Big Ten is absolutely theirs to lose. You bring in Sienna Betts. I'm really excited to see Gianna Neepkins with this UCLA team too, man. She just seems like a perfect fit for this group. You've got a lot of backcourt, a lot of firepower with this group, a lot of length, a lot of versatility. Like there is no excuses for this team not to get to the national championship this year. And if they don't make it, then yeah, you got to start looking at coach because something's not adding up here. Yeah, I like Ledger Walker though, man. She is a very, very talented, experienced point guard. Really, really can trust her with the keys to the offense. I think she's going to be the type of guard that gets other players involved, that hits them in their spots, that makes things easier for all these scores they have around her, for sure. They could have used her last year. Finally healthy, she hasn't played a lot of basketball in the last 18 months. So I think, it's fair to say there will be some rust there. Absolutely. But that team is long, athletic, and deep. Like UCLA right now would have to put them over South Carolina. No disrespect to Gamecock fans. But we're still trying to figure out exactly what South Carolina is going to look like. Yeah, UVA did some major things in the portal as well. They did some major getting Samaya Smith was a big, big addition for them. Um, I'm interested to see the ACC. Feels like it's going to be pretty wide open too, man. You got NC State, you got Carolina, you got Duke leading the way, but there are some outliers. Louisville also bringing back a lot of talent as well. Um, you know, it's going to be interesting. These rankings will look a lot different, I would say, even in the next month. But I'm not mad at the initial top 25. Not mad at it. Hey, RC, you don't never miss, my guy. If you tell me to book it, write it down, I'm paying attention, I'm locking it in. Got you. Lauren Hurst, lock it in. Yeah, Tennessee, man, they got some new faces. They got a really, really good recruiting class coming in. They did some good things in the transfer portal as well. Um, you know, I'm excited to see what they do with Janiah Barker. Guys, I just wanted to hop on and give an initial reaction. I definitely will do more live streams and be cranking out the content over the next period of this season and throughout the rest of this week. We'll have some more live streams. Y'all holler at me in the comments about other topics y'all want us to discuss and talk about. We'll pick back up tomorrow on just, dissecting some preseason player of the year awards and stuff like that tomorrow evening. So y'all make sure to stay tuned for that. Appreciate everybody joining this evening, man. Much love. None of this is possible without you guys, my community, my family out here. I just really appreciate y'all locking in with me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay up with the latest and the greatest. Until next time, of course, I'm your host, Brandon Blakely, aka Brandon Lee TV. This is the live Brandon Blakely podcast. Until next time, my people, we out.